What's cooking, guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm making these crispy shrimp and vegetable egg rolls. These are perfect as an appetizer for year-round parties and gatherings, but these are also really great for your Ramadan table. So stay tuned for the recipe. Do consider subscribing if you're new here and you'd like to join my foodie family, and also hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I upload a new video. And now let's get cooking. So I forgot to mention the sweet chili sauce in my intro. I'll start by making the sauce first. In a small saucepan, I'm going to add 1 cup of water. Then I have 1.5 tablespoons of vinegar. I'm using apple cider vinegar. You can use regular white vinegar too. I have 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1/4 cup of brown sugar or regular granulated white sugar, 1 teaspoon of ginger garlic paste, and 1/2 teaspoon of red chili flakes, or to your taste. You can also use a sriracha hot sauce here. Mine are very spicy, so I'm not overdoing it. Then whisk this together till it's all combined and set it aside for now. I'm going to make my cornstarch slurry. I have 1 teaspoon of cornstarch here, and to this I'm adding 2 teaspoons of water. I did end up making more of this later, so if you want to do 2 teaspoons of cornstarch and 4 teaspoons of water, that would be better for this sauce. Mix it well and then set this aside as well. Turn on the heat on medium-high and let's whisk this sauce as it heats up. Give it a couple of minutes till the sugar is dissolved, and once it starts to come to a little boil, lower the heat and then add the cornstarch slurry, and while whisking the whole time. Otherwise it will just become one big lump. Turn it off the heat so that it doesn't boil over and keep whisking it gently. I added a little more of that slurry that I mentioned and mixed it in really well. Once the sauce looks clear and has already come to a boil, this sweet chili sauce is now done. I'm going to put it in a small airtight glass jar, and you can keep this in your fridge to cool down. This sauce can go on everything and it is going to be so good with the shrimp egg rolls. I have about 1/2 pound of deveined and cleaned shrimp here. I'm going to be cutting these shrimps really small as I'm showing here and dropping them into a bowl. The reason I cut these is so there are no big pieces of shrimp in the egg rolls. It will also be easier to wrap or roll when it's in the filling. You can also use a food processor to do this, but I like the rough chopping here better. Put it all in a bowl once you're done. Now to season the shrimp, I'm going to be using a teaspoon of homemade garlic paste that I've shown in a previous video. It gives a great garlicky flavor. Then I have white pepper powder. I'm using about a teaspoon of this as I eyeballed it in. If you don't have white pepper, just use regular black pepper instead. Then I have salt to my taste. Just a couple of pinches is fine. And then mix this well so the seasonings are combined well into the shrimp. And while the shrimp is marinating for just a few minutes, I'm going to cut half of the cabbage that I have, and I'm cutting this very thinly, as you can see here. It should almost look like it's shaved. You can also use a food processor to keep your life easier, or a mandolin to cut this so thinly. Once this is all cut, you can put it in a bowl and set it aside. Let's heat up a wok and add some oil of your choice to this for cooking. Once the oil is hot, add in the seasoned shrimp to this and stir it around the whole time it is cooking. Since shrimp cooks so fast, this will only take maybe 5 minutes in total, or probably less. And when the shrimp turns a light pink or peachy color, this is now done, and you can take it out in a bowl and set it aside for now. Heat up the same wok again on high flame. Add some oil of your choice for cooking. Just a few tablespoons is fine. Then I'm adding 4 green onions or scallions that are chopped into the hot oil, and I'm also using 2 teaspoons of ginger garlic paste here to add more aromatic flavors. We're only going to cook these for like 30 seconds before I add in my shredded or really thinly cut cabbage. Stir this around really well, and then also add grated carrots in there. Mix this till it's well incorporated together. And now let's add a few seasonings. I have white pepper powder here, about 1 teaspoon of it. I have black pepper to my taste. I prefer the freshly ground one here better. It gives a more potent flavor. And again, if you don't have the white pepper powder, you can just omit it and use black pepper instead. Then I'm adding 1/2 teaspoon of Chinese salt that I usually get from my local South Asian supermarkets, but this is optional. Add some salt to your taste. I won't be over salting this, as I will also be adding some soy sauce next. I eyeballed in about 3 tablespoons of it. Combine and mix everything really well. And now that we added salt to this, the vegetables will release some of their water content, and we will be cooking this till that pretty much dries up. You don't want this to be a filling that has liquid in it. Add in the cooked shrimp we made earlier, and then mix it all really well. After the shrimp is added, we won't be cooking this for too long. I really just want to make sure all the water from the veggies evaporates. And after a few minutes on high heat, this shrimp and vegetable filling is pretty much done now. You can let this cool completely because it is a filling. I'll be using these egg roll wrappers. You can also use spring roll wrappers if you like. I just couldn't find those in my supermarket. I will also be making a cornstarch paste, which will work as a glue to keep the egg rolls together. And for that, you want about 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, and then just add a few spoons of water until you see it become a thick paste. Unlike a slurry, this is supposed to be a thick paste instead of a watery liquid. This is going to be very sticky and hard to mix at first, but once you get that thick paste-like texture, this is good to go, and just set it aside for now. Let me show you how to wrap these egg rolls. I have my shrimp and veggie filling all cooled down here, and I have my egg roll wrapper here. I'm going to put one of the corners facing towards me, which creates a diamond shape, and then I'm taking a few tablespoons of that filling and putting it in the center of the egg roll wrapper, and then start rolling that corner towards the center, and take the 2 corners from the sides and hold it still as you use the cornstarch paste we made so that it acts like a glue. And then roll that forward and make sure there are no holes around and it's closed properly. I will do another one just to show you one more time, and I'll speed it up because you get the gist of it. These are fun to make, and you can make these ahead of time and put them in the freezer if you're not going to be cooking them right away. I was able to make 14 egg rolls with that filling I had. Now let's fry these egg rolls up because I'm serving these for today's Ramadan dinner. And in a small frying pan, I'm going to add oil for frying. You can even make these in the air fryer and just spray them with some oil so they get that golden crispy look. And once the oil heats up, gently add the egg rolls in there. Once they start to get a golden color, you can start to turn them gently. And once the oil is hot, these will get brown pretty quickly. So you do have to keep an eye on them. And after a couple of minutes, they will get that classic golden brown color. And now you know they are completely done. I'm taking these out on a wire rack so they stay crispy all over. Here is the inside of one of those egg rolls. They look super delectable, and my homemade sweet chili sauce to go with it. These shrimp and vegetable egg rolls just make for the perfect appetizer for any day, and they look crispy on the outside and super delicious on the inside. So that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed my crispy shrimp and vegetable egg rolls. You can make these ahead of time and freeze them for at least a month, but these are so good that you'll be eating them in no time for your parties, for your gatherings, for your Ramadan table, or just as an appetizer anytime you want. With a little bit of help from the store, using the egg roll wraps or the spring roll wraps, you can make these in no time. And if you're not a seafood person, you don't want to use shrimp or something, then you can always use chicken. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe before leaving. I'll be seeing you in the next one, guys. Until then, take care of yourselves.